Okay, students, as you are aware, we are dealing with the course guidance and counseling, and it is week number 8. And now we are taking lecture number 2. And the topic of today's discussion is interest inventories, meaning, types, and importance. As you are aware, in this week and in previous weeks, we are basically dealing with the pupil appraisal techniques. And many of them we have already discussed. In that sequence, one more inventory we are going to learn today, and that inventory is interest inventories. What are the highlights of this lecture? We will try to understand the concept of the interest and with the help of the definitions, and then we will try to find out the popular interest test as well as inventories, and what is the significance of these interest inventories in the guidance and counseling program. And then there are certain limitations related to that also. We will also explore those limitations, and then we will finally end up our discussion or conclude our discussion. Let us start with the introduction or definition of interest. Interests are very important in the learning process. Interests, what are interests? Interests are topics, ideas, or subjects that interest you, that value to you, fascinate you, and you want to learn more about. Take, for example, cooking, arts, history, and classical music are all examples of various kinds of the interest. So every individual has certain interest areas. We need to find out that interest areas with the help of an instrument, and that instrument is called the interest inventories or interest test. According to Crow and Crow, he defined basically the interest. It can be defined as either the motivating force that makes you pay attention to something, or the experiential feeling you get from engaging with that thing. Thus, it is the push to engage with an activity or the enjoyable feeling that results from it. It means interest is basically a driving force. It is a motivating force. If someone is interested in doing certain task, then he will be actively involved in that task or in that activity. And not only he or she will be actively involved in that, rather he or she will get the satisfaction in performing that task. If we are performing any task with certain interest, then the production will be better in that area and we will feel motivated, adjusted, and self-content. So this is the interest. Let us take another definition which has been given by the B. and Jha in 1946. According to this definition, interest is that enduring mental system which sustains, contains, and continues the activity called attention. Three aspects have been highlighted here. Enduring mental system. Enduring mental system. This suggests that interest is not temporary state of mind, but rather a stable psychological stress structure that persists over time. So if a person is having interest in certain area, that interest is not a temporary interest, rather it is inherent with the part of the personality of the individual, and it is basically a mental system or enduring mental system that is to certain extent is stable, and every time the person will feel happy in doing that task. Sustains and contains is the second part of this definition. Interest functions to maintain and hold our focus on a particular object or activity. If we are interested in certain tasks, then definitely we maintain to engage in that task, and we are in a position to achieve our objectives. Continues an activity called attention. The four core function of the interest according to Jha is to derive and perpetuate the process of paying attention. So what ultimately we can say about the interests? Interests are basically a stable psychological structure that persist over time, and they are able to sustain and contains the attention of the individual, and this attention is basically a driving force for the person to do the task in a better manner. That is the third aspect which we have discussed here. Now, on the basis of this definition, we can conclude an interest is thus a tendency to become absorbed in an experience and to continue it. First, we are engaging in the activity and we would like to continue to engage in that activity. Interests are an aspect of overall personality of an individual. It is the central force that drives the whole machinery of the teaching learning process. Everything depends upon the interest in the school conditions. And guidance and counseling opportunities are also provided in schools to our students. Then interest play a significant role. Some students say they are interested in mathematics, others feel more interested in biological sciences, and some demonstrate interest in languages and others in social sciences. So students are selecting their courses on the basis of their chosen choices. In other words, we can say it is basically, it depends upon their personality makeup to what kind of learning or areas they want to choose in their life, and students select that course. So interests play a very significant role in the teaching learning process and in counseling process. So interests are very much linked to our wants, what we want, our motives, our drives, and basic needs. Interests are basically governed by all these personality characteristic features. Now, we are dealing popular interest tests. Popular interest test. What are these popular interest tests? We will discuss in coming slides. Number one, Holland course. RIEZEC is the short form of 6 different areas, personality patterns or the occupational patterns. We will discuss in detail later on. A strong vocational interest blank. It is also an inventory which is very popular. The Kuder occupational interest inventory, we will also learn about it. And the Jackson vocational interest survey, it is also very important to understand the use of it in guidance and counseling purposes. Popular interest tests and inventories, and I am taking the first one, that is the Holland codes. All cannot be discussed in this lecture. For initiation of the discussion and giving a certain knowledge about these inventories, I am presenting before you 4 different types of the methodologies or the inventories or the test before you. Holland's code, RIEZEC means Holland's theory is basically based on 4 key assumptions. Individuals and environment can be categorized into the same 6 types. We can categorize the personality of the individual in 3 broad areas. Number 1, realistic. Number 2, investigative. Number 3, artistic. Number 4, social. Number 5, enterprising. And number 6, conventional. These are basically, there are certain characteristic features. On the basis of that, we consider the personality as realistic personality, as investigative personality, as artistic personality, as social personality, as enterprising personality, and as conventional personality. So these are the 6 broader areas of the personality types, and these are also associated to the type of environment, work environment or job environment. Okay, there are certain jobs where realistic characteristic features personality suits, investigative temperament suits, artistic temperament suits, or social, enterprising, and conventional also become familiar with that. So people are good match for an environment that aligns with their personality type. So environment means job opportunities are also related to certain characteristic features where certain personality traits can be utilized in a better manner, and the fit between the person's personality and their work environment is crucial for career choice and satisfaction. For example, if I am a realistic person, then I should be allowed to work in an realistic environment. If someone is an investigative, having the investigative personality, then he or she should be allowed to work in the investigative environment. That is basically the idea of the Holland's theory. Okay, there are six types of personalities, and there are six types of the personalities environment, and the best fit is basically considered for getting the satisfaction, for getting the choice of career and the satisfaction. Selecting the choice is not going to solve the problem. Rather, getting the satisfaction is highly important. So, the strong interest inventory is one of the most widely used tests based on this theory, and there are six areas. Number one is realistic, practical, hands-on, and mechanically inclined individuals who enjoy working with tools, machines, or animals. For examples of careers can be related to include electricians, engineer, and veterinarian. So these are the few examples I have taken for related to the career in order to make better understanding for the student. A realistic type of personality are those people who believe in practical tasks, who believe in hands-on tasks, who are mechanically involved, want to work in a systematic manner, and individuals, and they enjoy working with the tools, machines, or animals. And selected or profitable choices of these types of students or the persons include electricians. They are happy to become a good electrician. They are happy in engineering profession, and veterinarian is also an area to be selected for them. Investigative personality basically categorize on the basis of the analytical, curious, and intellectual attitudes of the people who enjoy problem solving in scientific or research field, investigate. They have the curiosity, they want to engage in serious discussion and engage in problem solving situations. So career examples can include medical technologist and biologist and system analysts. They are basically the investigative work environment where the investigative personality demonstrating analytical, curious, and intellectual attitude will be more suitable to work in such environment. Artistic means creative, imaginative, and expressive individuals who enjoy writing, drama, and visual arts. Career examples include graphic designer, musician, and writer. If someone is called an artistic, having a artistic personality, then one can consider that he is a creative person. He believes in imaginative, engage in imaginative tasks, and he is expressive individual who can express his or her ideas by writings, engaging in drama and in visual arts. Social people are empathetic and cooperative individuals who enjoy helping, teaching, and interacting with others. You can select the career. Such types of people uh, select the career of a teacher, counselor, and social worker. Another is enterprising. They are assertive. They demonstrate the traits of assertiveness. They are ambitious. They are energetic people who enjoy leading, persuading, and managing others to achieve generalization organizational goals. So they are ambitious people, energetic people, assertive people, and career selected for these person can be the salesperson, business executives, and the manager of any enterprise. Conventional people comes in the sixth category: detail oriented, organized, conscientious individuals who prefer systematic, structured tasks. Career examples include secretary, accountant, and banker, where detailed oriented task is there, organization is more important, and individuals are more systematic tasks or structured tasks where structure is present there, and they are able to perform the task better if they demonstrate these kinds of conventional traits. So there are six types of the personality advocated by the Holland, and on the basis of these personality, if certain characteristic features are seen in the students which consider the child is enterprising, then he may be diverted to the certain choices areas as salesperson, business executive, and manager, and thorough planning by the counselor can be made by choosing some other area which comes under the enterprising category. So this is a very important technique, and it provides a lot of input or insight to the counselor regarding the personality of the individual, and according to that the person is able to take the informed choices of their courses as well as job opportunities or career options. Popular interest test and inventories. Another example is strong vocational interest bank. First interest inventory developed by E.K. Strong in 1927. The original test was designed for men only. A version for women was developed in 1933. In 1974, the Strong test was merged into the Strong Campbell interest inventory. It was further revised in 1981. It contains 325 items representing a wide variety of school subjects, occupations, activities, and types of the people. The scale is scored according to 162 separate occupational scales as well as 23 scales that group together various types of occupations, basic interest scales, so called. They are also asked to choose their favorite among pairs of activities and indicate which of 14 selected characteristics apply for them out of 162. The subjects are also scored on 6 general occupational themes derived from the J. Holland's interest classification schemes like realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Third inventory is basically the Kuder Occupational Interest Inventory. This is a self-report vocational interest test developed by G. Frederick Kuder in 1939. This test focuses on measuring the person's broad areas of interest. It yields the person's scores along 10 vocational interest areas: outdoor, mechanical, clerical, computational, scientific, literacy, social service, persuasive, artistic, and musical. These are basically the 10 areas. The COISIS, so-called the Kuder Occupational Interest Inventory, has high reliability and validity and useful for guidance decisions for high school and college students. So it can be conducted on high school students and can be applied to the college level of student. So this makes it useful to cover a range, quite a different range of the age of the students. Jackson Vocational Interest Industry is the fourth one in the series of inventories to evaluate the interest of the student. It was developed to address the limitations of the previous scales in 1970. This consists of 34 basic interest scales grouped into 10 occupational themes. These occupational themes are expressive, logical, inquiring, practical, assertive, and socialized, helping, conventional, enterprising, and communicative. Occupational themes are there. Number one, expressive, enjoys artistic and creative work. Logical, prefers rational, abstract thoughts, deductive reasoning, and precision. Inquiring means shows curiosity about environments, particularly about living things, other people, and social institutions. They are inquiry people. Practical people enjoys activities requiring physical or mechanical skills, and students can be or people can be assertive. Preference for working in situations in which one can exercise control and where authority is clearly defined. So they are authority conscious people. Socialized people are also there. They are supposed to be the responsible people, disciplined in their life, they are prompt in their actions, they are systematic in nature, and they are stable workers. Stability is shown by them. Helping is also a criteria, expresses genuine concern for other people, particularly those who require assistance, nurturance, or education. Conventional people are also there, as we discuss in the Holland's theory. Preference for working in smoothly running organizations rather than in highly variable environment. They prefer a static position where routine work is there and they are organized people and doing the task. Enterprising people are motivated by the conventional symbols of social status, influence, and prestige, engage in discussion to persuade and influence. Communicative is another type, enjoy expression of ideas, attending lectures, reading, studying, or engaging intellectual discussions. And now we are coming to discuss the importance of using interest test. After knowing what is the significance of the interest in teaching, learning, and guidance process, and knowing certain idea about the various interest inventories and its significance, now we are trying to understand their significance in guidance and counseling processes. And the number one is it enhances self-awareness. Interest inventories help individual gain a deeper understanding of their own passions, preferences, and motivations. This can be particularly beneficial for younger people still figuring out their identity and for adults seeking a career change. So it enhances self-awareness because students are not aware about their interests, about areas, and if we are able to identify as a counselor about their interest areas, then it becomes very useful for the individual to believe that I have certain preferences areas and I should know those preferences area. So it basically enhances the self-awareness of the individual. So these are helpful in this regard also. Improved career decision making. If we know ourselves better, we know our interest areas, we know our characteristic features which suits to certain occupational areas, then we will be able to make improved career decisions. So by identifying potential career paths, these assessments can help individuals make more informed decisions about their future. By identifying what activities a person naturally gravitates towards, these tests help narrow down the overwhelming number of educational and career options. This reduces the time and frustration and the error. So if the person are not aware about their interest, then it becomes very difficult for them to make informed decisions. So improved career decisions can be made if students are aware about their areas of interest. So broadly, they consider that these 4 or 5 areas are associated to me, and I feel more comfortable and more adjusted in such areas, then he or she will be able to take courses which are aligned with this kind of interest and future job opportunities. Enhance job satisfaction. Simply getting the job is not going to solve the problem, because ultimately the objectives of the human being is basically to live a satisfied and well adjusted life. The job satisfaction is very much dependent on the type of interest we have in our personality and the type of environment in job opportunities is provided to us. If we are placed in a wrong profession which doesn't suit to our interest, then definitely we will not get the satisfaction in doing that job. That is basically related to the job satisfaction. Number of studies have been conducted where the people have demonstrated that they could not get their chosen areas, or they selected the wrong professions. That is why job satisfaction is not associated to that. So when individuals pursue careers that align with their interests, they are more likely to experience greater job satisfaction and self-fulfillment. So this leads to long-term career satisfaction and success in achieving their goals. Fourth is boost motivation. Connecting educational and professional pursuits to one's interests can increase intrinsic motivation. For students, it gives more meaning and purpose to what they are learning in the classroom. If we are interested, then we are also motivated in that subject, in the learning process. If we engage, the chances of the learning are also enhanced, and we are progressively and satisfactorily moving to the next stage of achieving our goals. Reduces the chance of career regret. Interest test minimizes the likelihood of making ill-suited career decisions, choices that can lead to dissatisfaction and the need for frequent job changes. So people are frequently changes the job because they did not enter in the right chosen areas which belongs to their interest. So if the interests are made clear to them, known to them, then they basically it reduces the chance of career regret. You will not get regret, rather feel satisfied. Build confidence. Knowing that a career choice is supported by an objective assessment can increase an individual's confidence in pursuing their chosen path. Confidence is basically related to the interest areas. Reduce career exploration time. Interest test can streamline the career exploration process by narrowing down the options based on individual preferences. Career exploration is one of the important aspect in the guidance and counseling. Once we are able to explore different careers and we know certain careers are suited for my temperament, then we will be able to take a better decision in related to that. Importance of using interest test is also related to the provides objective insights. The data from these assessments can help remove biases, ensuring that guidance is based on the client's measured preferences rather than subjective opinions. So it also provides objective insights to the student. It also identifies areas for the development. By highlighting a client's interest, a counselor can also identify area where new skills or training may be needed to achieve career goals. If he or she has decided to go in one area, then definitely he will try to learn the skills needed to enter in that job. There are certain limitations of the interest inventories. Interest can change over time. Pupils' interests are not static and can evolve with new experiences. It is often recommended to retake these tests periodically to get updated insights. So, interests are also frequently changing with the increase in knowledge and as well as experiences. So, we cannot rely on one test, rather we have to take the interest inventories on regular basis. Interest do not equal ability. Just because someone is interested in a field does not mean they have the aptitude or skill to succeed in it. Test results should always be considered alongside a person's skills and abilities. If someone is interested in certain areas, it doesn't mean that he is having the ability to perform in that. We need to take into account of these aspects also, and dependent on experiences. Test results can be influenced by what a person has been exposed to. Someone with limited exposure to certain fields may not register a strong interest in them despite having aptitude, because if we are uh, presenting before the student interest inventories and questions are related to certain interest areas where he or she has limited knowledge, or then he will not be able to give a positive responses related to that. Susceptible to cultural biases, all the interest inventories cannot be suitable for the people who are coming from the different socio-cultural and economic backgrounds, because people are having their own interest areas and these tests can be biased in identifying these aspects also. So, that is why they are susceptible to cultural biases. Some interest inventories may not be fully relevant across all cultures, which is an important consideration when using them with diverse populations. So, we need to take this aspect. So, these are some of the limitations. Let us conclude our lecture. Interest tests provide significant advantages in guidance and counseling by boosting self-awareness, leading to better career decision making and greater job satisfaction by aligning personal passions with professional paths. They help individuals clarify their preferences for specific fields, facilitating informed choices about education and careers, reducing potential for career dissatisfaction and changes in the long run. Keeping in view the significance of the interest in the life of the teaching, in the life of the student in regard to the teaching learning process, guidance and counseling cannot be performed in a better manner if the counselor is not aware about the interests of the student, because interests play a very significant role in the achievement of the students and making better self adjustment in the with the members of the society. So with this we have completed our lecture. Thanks for your patience listening, and God bless you all.